Hi, my name is Maria Ott, and I'm the social media manager for the Produce Marketing Association and the Center for Growing Talent. In this video, we're going to talk about building a content strategy for LinkedIn. If you're new to LinkedIn and want to get started, we have more video resources on this topic, like our video 5 Easy Tips on how to optimize your profile. Feel free to get started with that video and join us back here. If you're ready to dive in, then let's get started. First, what do we mean by content strategy? In this video, we're really focusing on the types of posts that you can create, the frequency of those posts, how to easily find content, and most importantly, how this is all beneficial to you and your professional persona. We're going to dive into some easy tips and tricks, as well as best practices that will help you grow your network, keep you up to date on industry news, and even help with the job search you may be conducting. So why is it important to have a content strategy on LinkedIn? We already alluded to some of these benefits of a content strategy, like growing your network and job searches, but having a solid content strategy on LinkedIn means that you're using the platform consistently and effectively. This helps push your content to the top of your connections feed, as well as showing your expertise and opinion based off of the content you post. In other words, you'll reach new people and information you may not have before, which can always help your career. Next, we want to showcase a few different examples of types of content on LinkedIn. So when we talk about types of content on LinkedIn, we're talking about the links to articles that you can share, videos, images of content you've captured or others have captured, and you can even post longer form articles with a really great feature LinkedIn provides, allowing you to get into the driver's seat. Here you can add a title, a header photo, and more. This is different than posting a link to an article because here you are the writer. These content types can be on a range of topics, including industry updates, personal accomplishments, innovations within your field, and more. A couple of things we want to always keep in mind when posting different types of content is, number one, making sure that we're giving our own opinion or commentary around the piece. Just posting a link to an article or uploading a video is not going to show your network any of your expertise or way of thinking. Second, make sure that your content is relevant and timely to your field of expertise or study. This means that your content should reflect who you are professionally and remain on topic, all the while taking into account timing. We wouldn't want to post about an innovation that maybe happened 5 years ago or more, because now it's irrelevant. When we keep these things in mind, it's easier to build a network that will engage with the types of content we are interested in, and therefore reciprocate that relationship by filling your own feed with more news that you're interested in, and it allows potential employers to see that you have initiative and ambition in the space. So now that we know what types of content we should be posting and some parameters on how to give your own opinion and more, let's talk about frequency. All of these tips are great, but they must be maintained. Earlier, we mentioned that a successful content strategy on LinkedIn is consistent. We would recommend posting at least 2 to 3 times a week on average, as this is a platform best practice and has been proven to be most effective in the space. If you post 4 or 5 times in 1 week, this will by no means hurt your content strategy, but posting less frequently will start to add some challenges. This is important because if you go dark, as we call it in social media terms, when you don't post for a prolonged period of time, a couple of things could happen. Number one, you would suddenly pop up into your network's feed, and they may be sitting there thinking, I never see this person's content, so why am I seeing it now? Which could even cause them to unfollow you based on the content that you've put out there, which is something that we definitely don't want happening. Going dark could also be detrimental to your progress in growing your network, as well as the LinkedIn algorithm, meaning less and less people will see your posts. Posting on a consistent basis not only helps in pushing your content to the top, but it keeps you up to date and engaged. So how do we go about finding content on LinkedIn? And more importantly, how do we make it easy? It's not difficult to turn social media into a full-time job, but I'm happy to say there's hope. We can find content both within and outside of LinkedIn. First, let's dive into what the platform already gives us. LinkedIn has an incredibly useful feature of allowing you to follow hashtags. One of the easiest steps we can take is to follow relevant hashtags on LinkedIn, again, keeping in mind our space and expertise and looking through the content that populates under any given hashtag. Hashtags are easy to follow. Simply use the search bar on LinkedIn to search those different hashtags and click the follow button. This will allow that content to populate into your feed. We also want to be following hashtags that have an ample number of posts. not just a couple, as that means that people aren't engaging in that space. There's no real magic number here, but you want to make sure that there are several posts under each hashtag that you're following to, again, make sure that people are engaging in that space. As you search for different hashtags on LinkedIn, they give you all of those numbers, so just be mindful. Here, you can reshare articles and more, and it all easily feeds into building your strategy. Don't forget to use those same or similar hashtags when posting your own content. This will increase shareability and visibility for you too. Next, let's look at using our network. One of our goals is always to grow those connections, so here we can develop a parallel work stream. We can build our network with our content, and we can reshare content from our network. In our video, 5 Easy Steps to Optimizing Your LinkedIn Profile, we mentioned connecting with colleagues, speakers of events we've attended, and more, all of which will be putting out their own content for us to go ahead and share and comment on. When we look outside of the platform, we can look to a couple of different spaces for content. First, industry newsletters are a great tool in finding relevant content. These newsletters range in frequency from daily, weekly, monthly, and they're a great source for what we call curated content. Curated content is content that's already pulled together and presented for you, which takes out a lot of the work. These newsletters will also strive to be timely in their space, so you can be too. Finally, you can use any resources your school, current company, or professors have as well. If they have created some content or sent you things that they find interesting, go ahead and post it and be sure to tag them too. So when we have our content strategy finalized and feel like we're in a good spot, it's important to then talk about how to engage and grow our audience. This will help to bump our content to the top of feeds, as well as expand our network and put us in front of relevant folks in our field. We have a couple of tips on how to do this easily and effectively. First, don't be afraid to tag people. If you found an interesting article or video posted by another person, when you reshare it with your own opinion, give them a little shout out. The same goes for sharing content from your company or professors and personal network. Tagging people also allows you to tap folks so that they see your content. Maybe you've attended an event and found an incredible speaker that you would love to tag to get their opinion on some relevant news. And this all engages your audience further and spurs people to connect with you if you haven't already. Next, when following hashtags, just like we talked about, be sure to use hashtags in your own content. This will allow a large network of people who are already following in that space to see what types of posts you're doing and connect with you further, and vice versa. Finally, be sure to use content as a way to bridge the gap between the people you want to connect with. If you see someone consistently posting content you like, send them a message and connect with them. Tell them why you enjoy their content and create that dialogue. Growing your network is incredibly beneficial for idea sharing, job searching, and more. And your content strategy allows you to do all of those things. And there you have it. Now you have the tools to effectively build your own content strategy on LinkedIn. For more resources available to you, be sure to check out the Center for Growing Talent's website and connect with us on LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us.